In this video, we're going to talk about finding the slope-intercept form of a line when you are given 2 points on that line. Steps to finding the y equals mx plus b form when given 2 points are as follows. We want to find the slope using the slope formula. If needed, in some cases, you might be given 1 point on the line and the slope, in which case you will not have to calculate the slope. You want to pick the simpler of the 2 points. What do I mean by simpler? The smaller numbers, less negatives are going to be easier to work with, less likely to make a mistake with. So just pick the simpler of the 2 coordinates that you have to work with. Substitute for m, the slope, and the x and the y values from the point into the slope-intercept formula. This is going to leave you with just b as an unknown, and we can then solve for b, the intercept, and then rewrite the equation using your slope and b values that you've found. Let's take a look at 2 sample problems here. Grabbing my pen, what is the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that passes through the point 4, 2 and 3, 0? So we aren't given the slope here, so we're going to have to calculate it first. So that slope formula is m, or the slope, is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And we can label our points here just so that we keep them straight. This is x1, this is y1, this is x2, and this is y2. So let's substitute those in. y2 is 0, and y1 is 2. So the top of our fraction is going to be 0 minus 2, and the bottom of our fraction is going to be x2, which is 3, minus x1, which is 4. That's going to give us -2 on the top. You can reduce this with your calculator if you like, probably a little bit safer, but you should get a slope of 2. So that's our first step. Let me erase that and just note that we found that our slope is 2. Now we can pick one of our points and use that for substituting. I'm going to pick this one because anything that involves a 0 tends to make it a little bit simpler. So we're going to substitute into y equals mx plus b. And we know 3 parts of this. We know y value, an m value, and an x value. So y we're going to get from this coordinate is 0. 0 is equal to our slope, which is 2, times the x part of our coordinate, which is 3, plus b. And the whole purpose of this step is to figure out what b is. So let's simplify now. 2 times 3 is 6. So 0 is equal to 6 plus b. As we've done before, we need to isolate b, so we're going to do the opposite thing to that side. Since we were adding 6 to b, we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. That will cancel this out, and it leaves us with our answer that b is equal to -6. Now, let's come back up here and rewrite this. I'm going to pick a different color to make this very clear that this is our answer. We're going to rewrite this with our known slope and our known value of b. Y is equal to our slope of 2 times x minus 6. B is a -6. There's our answer. We look for it over here in the multiple choice list, and there it is. Now, as I have suggested in other videos, you want to make sure you eliminate answers that don't make any sense. As soon as we realize that our slope was 2, notice that we can eliminate answer A because it has a slope of -3, -3x, And we can eliminate answer D, minus 2x. Those two answers have the wrong slope. So that can be very helpful. Let's take a look at one more problem. In this case, we are given a slope plus 1 point on the line. This makes it a little bit easier because we don't need to do that slope calculation step. We're just going to, let me change my color there so we're working with something a little different. We're going to label that slope of 1/3 as an M. And this is going to be our X and our Y when we substitute. X will be 6 and Y will be 1. Now that we've done this once, we kind of know what we're getting into. We're going to take this form of the line, y equals mx plus b, and substitute in the values of m, x, and y. Y is 1. M is 1/3. And x is 6. And we don't know b. That's what we're trying to figure out right now. So let's simplify this part first. 1/3 times 6 is 2. 1 is equal to 2 plus b. And as we did in the previous problem, we're now going to subtract something from both sides. We subtract 2 in this case because we are trying to cancel that out. That leaves us with b on the right-hand side, and 1 minus 2 is minus 1 on the left-hand side. We now know the value of b. So let's come over here and write our final equation. We are going to substitute in our slope of 1/3, which we knew from the beginning. And we're going to substitute in -1 for b. Y is equal to 1/3 x minus 1. There, our answer is A. Y is equal to 1/3 x minus 1. Let's look for the silly answers. We knew right up front that our slope was 1/3. We know that the slope lives right before the x in this form of the line. This is not a slope of 1/3. It's a slope of 3. This is a slope of 4. Only answers A and D have the correct slope. Okay, that wraps up this video. It's time for you to practice some of these on your own.